I am. And then there's principles that come down from that, know who I am. But you can't learn those principles if you don't know who Father is. And you don't live the principles that Christ taught. Why did he come? He didn't come here to save the world. We love him and respect him as the Messiah, but not the Messiah to save the world. The world doesn't need saving. It is we the people that are lost. And we've got lost 3,000 years BC when we started worshiping idols and graven images and multiple gods and all configurations of gods. And Christ's mission was come to lead the people back because they had lost it, they had disconnected. You know, Moses' mission, Abraham, Jacob, all of those people, those disciples were teaching the people, but they weren't listening. So Christ's mission was, and they crucified him. They killed him. He went into the Garden of Gethsemane and bled from every pore in his body from the pain that he could not endure because the people wouldn't listen and wouldn't pay attention to his example of loving unconditionally. And that's all he asked for. And he taught strictly by example, wanting and asking for nothing, but for the people just to listen and to follow. Know God. Do these things and you can come unto the Father through the example and the things that I share and teach you, was his whole message. And they murdered him for that. And yet he hung on the cross, bleeding, and he pleaded with Father and says, forgive them not, for they know not. Forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. He was not just talking about the people that hung him on the cross, folks. Please get real. He was talking about the entire world because they weren't listening to his message. Forgive them not, for they know not what they're doing. Forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. It wasn't just the people that hung him on the cross he was talking about. It was all of us, because we weren't listening. We weren't coming unto his teaching and following his examples, that all things are possible for those that know. And those words in Aramaic writing were changed from knowing to believe. It changed the whole context. Folks, it's about knowing. You know your essential oils work. True or false?
True.
What?
True.
What?
True.
Yes. Well, know that and have that same conviction that God is. And all things are possible. And when you have that same knowing and same conviction that he is your Father, and there are no limitations. And many of you don't know me, and you don't know my background, and that is unimportant. But I can tell you, there's nobody on this bus, or all of you on this bus combined, that could make up as many excuses not to succeed as I could. And I chose not to. It's all about choice. I chose to walk away from my situation and my family and my upbringing at that time with zero education and change my stars because I had a burning desire to be different. And you have changed a lot of your feelings and your stars, and that's why you're on this trip. But folks, let's not stop here. Let's not rest on our laurels here. Let us take it to the next level and really embrace each other and learn to love each other. And maybe we can't do it with 100,000 people. I'm not asking you to at this moment. I'm asking you to do it with just the people in this group, in this diamond group. Embrace each other. This is where it starts. It starts in the home. And this is your home. This is our home. We are the examples to go to the world. And if we live it, when we go on the caravan next year, then we can be stronger in asking for it because we're examples of it. You know, let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Let's live it. And this is what is the burning desire in my heart and has been for many, many years. Because we can't change the world. We can't ask the world to be at peace when we're still fighting with each other and fighting within our own home. It stops in our home. It stops with us. We're the ones. We are the ones that can take it to the next level. Can we not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So let's do it, and let's feel the vibration change. It will be so empowering. I mean, it will change each and every one of us. And as I say this, I say it to myself because I have my faults too, the same as all of you. I have every day to work on myself and remind myself, if we do it together, and I believe that's what's made Mary and I's relationship so strong, because we've had the world tearing at us. There's probably not very many women in this world that has had their husbands slandered and criticized and trashed and drugged through the gutter more than her husband has been. And she has stood at my side, and she knows, and why is because she knows me. She's never believed those lies one single time because she knows me, and she knows who I am. And when you have that knowing, you fight for the people that you love for. And that's what I want to see with our diamonds, is fighting for the thing. And yes, people will make mistakes. You will make mistakes tomorrow, perhaps. So what? It's called education. You know? It's part of learning. There's only one manual out there that can guide us and teach us and help us. And that is your owner's operator's manual that you should have had when you came to Earth. It should have been part of the package deal. But maybe you didn't get it till you were old enough to read. So, but it's there. And you have a lot of tutelage. So this year coming, the theme of our convention, you all know what the theme of our convention is, right? How many can tell us?
Fire.
What is it? Light the fire within, okay? Light the fire within. Now, what does that mean to you, each of you? What does it mean to me? It means to build that fire. When you light a fire, you have to feed the fire, or it's going to go out, right?
Right.
You have fed the fire. You've built it. You've fed it to where you are diamonds. You are crown diamonds. You're royal crown diamonds. Now is not the time to quit feeding the fire, right? Because it will go out if you do. Now is the time you start putting bigger wood on the fire. You know what that bigger wood is to your fire? Self-development. Self-development, self-discovery. Those are the big pieces of wood that you're going to reach for, and you're going to bring it to you, and you're going to get to know it, and then you're going to add it to your fuel to make you burn brighter. Is the self-development, the self-realization, the self-fulfillment. And folks, one of those logs that you're going to grab in that process is going to be a great big log, 5 times bigger than those two. And that log is going to have a name stamped right on it. And I made an oil blend for that log, and it's called humility. Because without humility, you will never ever come into self-development. Because people without humility always see themselves that they're already there. They're better than everybody. They know everybody. And folks, one of the things that I feel I can say, and Mary, believe me, she is my second biggest critic in the world. And when she thinks I'm getting out of line, she's the first to tell me so. So as I'm sharing with you, if she says I'm wrong, she will say so in front of all of you. Right? And that is that I'm my biggest critic. And she is my second. Why? Because I want to better myself. I do not feel, as the CEO, the founder of this company, that I am better than anybody in this company. I will get down and I will take a shovel and I will shovel any ditch. I will clean a sewer pipe, and next week I'll be laying sewer pipe. Okay? I don't feel that and never have, because I don't feel that's what God expects me to feel like and be like. I am a person. I'm a human being. I'm a child of my Father, and I put my pants on the same as everybody else. He has given me so many beautiful gifts. I use them not to try to intimidate anybody or put somebody down, but only to emulate and edify and share and teach. And it's just like my experience I had last week with Jim and Chip and Scott. That experience was not to show that I was better. It was to show that I can bring people in and share with them the things that I've had the opportunity to learn. Just like my people in the office sit down and they try to share with me. They try to teach me how to run a computer and how to do emails. And Travis just showed me something up here a few minutes ago that I could do emails on my phone while I was driving. And now I can work 26 hours a day. I'm excited. So if we have that and understand, because we're royals, we're crowns, we're diamonds. We're not better than our executives or our stars.
That's right.
We've just had an opportunity to get there first.
That's right.
And now we have the opportunity that comes with a bigger responsibility to be a greater person in the respect of responsibility, in being humble with that privilege of being a leader and helping others to come up to that status. Our joy should be in building people, not in being above people. Our joy should be in the development and the evolving of that. Yesterday, as I started to share with you, a little lady came and you all got to meet her. And I refer to her as my second mother. In many ways, I feel that she is my mother because she loves me and loved me always more than my own mother. She always showed me more affection. She hugged me more in 25 years than my own mother ever did in her life, my lifetime. And so she was the only real mother that I felt I ever had. And I treasure her. And we don't speak because we can't. I don't speak French, she doesn't speak English. But when we come together like yesterday, we speak with our hearts to each other. It is feeling that we share that has created the bond that Jean-Noel picked up the phone 40 minutes before we arrived and says, Martin, Gary's coming to set her own. And she got up and got dressed and curled her hair on and put her makeup on to come and see her son that she can't talk to. She came to our dinner. She's just there. So if you don't feel you can love somebody, then shut up. Don't talk. Just go with feeling. Okay? Because sometimes we talk ourselves out of it instead of into it. But it's so precious to be able to love, to be able to feel, because that's when you come alive. And you would all know what it feels like when you're upset, when you're mad, and you're hurting. You don't feel alive. You are diamonds. You need to feel alive, 1,000% alive, every second that you're taking a breath of air. Because you are a walking, talking piece of God. And everybody's looking and everybody's watching. And so we experience these things. Alan, the president, the ex-president of the Lavender Association, Benoit's father that you all met, he grabbed me as we were getting ready to leave. And he hugged me. And Alan is not an affectionate feeling person. He's an old Frenchman, you know, and it's just not part of their makeup. And in all the 20 plus years I've known Alan, he's always hugged me, he's always been gracious, he's always expressed his appreciation, but he's never expressed love verbally. But yesterday he hugged me and he expressed it, and he says, Gary, he says, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and our friendship we've had over the years, and what you have brought to the Simeon community, and how you have changed the Simeon community because of your example and the love that you have brought to us. How you've accepted us, as unconditionally accepted us. You've worked with us even though we have criticized you, we have laughed at you, we have made fun of you over the years, and we've talked behind your back when you leave because we just thought that you were just another American that would just talk about things and go home and never do it. And he says that yet you've come, you've accepted us, and you've continued to love us, and you've continued to embrace us, and you've continued to share with us, and you've never, ever put us down or looked down upon us because of the way that we have criticized you in the past and the way that we've laughed at you behind your back. And he says, I love you. You know, it's not about the criticisms. It's not about the gossip. It's about love. And that was the number one thing that Christ came to teach. And 2,200 years later, we still haven't got it. We're still down in the trenches fighting and murdering and killing. And you know, even if we don't do it with a gun, we do it with our tongue. With our very close colleagues that we associate with. And that we should be emulating. And it pains me to know that there's people on this trip, on this journey, that can't talk to each other because of things that's happened. And my goal is to resolve that before I leave today. We cannot be examples, and we cannot live it if we don't live it, and we can't expect other people to either. No, success is not just about how much money we make. Success is what we leave behind. My great-grandfather, when I was 12 years old, he was 96, turning 97. And he didn't say this to me, he said it to my father. He said, my boy, he says, whatever you do in life, do something that when you leave this planet, you'll have left something behind that will have made a difference for everybody else. My father died when he was 60 years old. And I've often thought maybe my father's contribution to what my great-grandfather asked was leaving me behind to do that for him. But whether it was or not, that has been my goal since I was 12 years old. That whatever I did in life, I could make a difference in people's lives that would live on after I'm gone. And Young Living is the fulfillment of that goal and that dream board for me. And that's what I desire. And now is time for us as this body, as this group of people, for us to really take it to the next level. And we can be the example. Let's realize on this journey that we are on a journey. And it's not just about seeing the castles or seeing the fields or seeing the Riviera. It's a journey of love. It's a journey of relationships. It's a journey of edification. It's a journey of acceptance. And there's so many things that I have done, and you all tolerate me. You all accept me with my idiosyncrasies, and I have more of them than all of you put together. And I probably make more mistakes than all of you put together. But I don't dwell on my mistakes. I dwell on making it better tomorrow and doing better. And, you know, sometimes the tomorrows come and go, and I don't accomplish it as much as I would like to and want to and desire to, because I too am learning. I too am finding my way to become better. And it's not about being better than somebody else. It's about being better than I was an hour ago, or a day ago, or a week ago. And that's all that I ask. And that's some of the things that Dwayne Dyer taught and still teaches. And so there are a lot of great people out there that teach things, but folks, we need to be the ones that learn them. And we're the ones that need to be able to articulate that in action, not just in words. And the world will flock to Young Living like flies to a honey when they see that energy change. But as I said before, I've had people come up to me that have seen Young Living and met Young Living people and say, well, I'd like to be part of the world, but I don't want to be part of a company when I see people that behave like so-and-so. And so we do have a responsibility, and it begins with us. And we can all do it. So it's great. Look, and you as diamonds, you have responsibility of policing your people and watching your people, looking down. And when you see things evolving, then go there and be a solution person and help them become solution-minded. But don't ever let one of your distributors come to you and start being negative about another distributor. Stop them in their tracks and say, I will not accept that. My responsibility as a leader is to love that person, and I'm not going to listen to what you've got to say. Now, if you, for some reason, feel that it's a bona fide issue, then as a leader you go and you sit down with that person and you say, these are some concerns that have come to the surface, that's been brought to my attention, and I'd like to talk about it. Now, how that person responds to that is their responsibility and their choices. But it's your responsibility to go to them in love and present something they may not be at all aware of. And because we all do it, we all get our heads in places where sometimes maybe they shouldn't be at the moment and say things that we shouldn't say. That's human nature. That's why it said that the natural man is an enemy of God, because the natural man does things that hurts other people. So if we can practice some of these things and just start with today, and I'm just going to ask all of you today, just today, you're on a 24-hour curfew. Just express love to everyone and each other as much as your heart will allow you. Just let it out, let it open, and express it and feel the difference that it will be at the end of this day. And then tomorrow, if it felt really good, you're free. You have my permission to do it again tomorrow on the train ride to Paris. And then in Paris, you have my permission to do it again. And you have my permission to do it always. And let the people from the outside see this collective body of diamonds really shine and really walk their talk and be that which Christ tried to teach us, which God has asked us to be. Those are our real responsibilities. And you will not have to worry about whether you qualify to become a Royal Crown Diamond if you're a diamond, or if you qualify to be a Royal Crown Plus 2 or 3 times, because it will happen. That frequency will attract millions of people to Young Living. And then we'll have a whole other problem to deal with. More farms, more distilleries, producing more oil, and creating more joy for the world. So we have a year and 3 months before the caravan to really start setting the ripple effect upon the world, upon the face of this planet, with love. And let Young Living be the world leader in demonstrating that. Okay? Thank you, thank you. Ours was, she said, yes, MLR. Many loving relationships. So that serves extremely well in many ways. So it's going to be great. Now, how many of you have heard me tell the story of the castle, the Carcassonne Castle?